What is the number one problem you are having with your manifesting right now? I sent that in an email yesterday, 1:59 p.m. What is the number one problem you're having with your manifesting right now? Pretty simple question, right? Put a little photo of me, just smiling. Why not? Because I'm smiling. I'm a smiley kind of guy. I've found reasons to smile. I don't smile to pretend to. But anyway, more on that later. 264. I got 264 people that wrote back. It's not even 24 hours. You think some people need some help? Good people, by the way. God, I am loving your emails. I do have a problem, though. I'm in, quote-unquote, the condition of overwhelm. Can you tell? Can you tell I'm really stressed? How do I write back to 264 people? See, if I start with that question, that's the middle. How do I write back to 264 people? Because we're looking at 4 minutes per email. Maybe some of them will take 10. They're pretty long. But at 4 minutes per email, 264 emails, let's just round it down to 250. That's 1,000 minutes. That's all day. What do I do? So I got an answer for you. What we're going to do is we're going to put up some podcast episodes. I'm going to let you know. Because you deserve some answers. What you need are experiences. You took the time to write, so you deserve some answers. But you get to choose some experiences. And we've got to start there, because here's the thing. Grandma taught me how to make bread. As long as I follow her recipe, and don't add in what shouldn't be added in, the bread turns out pretty good. I don't know about you, but I love me some bread. I love me some bread and butter. When I moved to Australia, I use this stuff to move around the world. Hey, I found home. I found somebody I wanted to spend my life with. So I used this stuff. And it took about 16 months of bullshit, just to be blunt. I mean, there was a lot of good time in there, too. A lot of good time. But 16 months of bullshit. Right? For them to go, alrighty, we'll consider you. See, they're considering me. I've already moved here. It was really weird traveling here on a visitor visa. And imagining being home. And having to tell the guys at the counter, the customs guys, the immigration guys, purpose of your visit to Australia, sir. I said, oh, well, I'm here to be with friends. All right. Anything to declare? Yep. All right. Let me pay my duties and my fines. Because when you bring tobacco in, they charge you. When I brought in $20 worth of tobacco, they were going to charge me $250 in fines. They let me go because I was honest. It was pretty nice. But meanwhile, I digress, it seems. But I really don't. Every comment I make is in response to a comment that I'm given. My invitation for you is to listen to these podcasts, not just once, but many times. My other invitation is to do what we say and drop everything else. Of course, you can join us. I'll do crass commercials. You know me. ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. It's the 90-day program, $97. If you save $1 a day, you can do it in 90 days. Actually, 97 days, but who's counting? If you want to join us in Dream Driven Day, you can. DreamDrivenDay.com. That's a totally different angle of approach, by the way. It's what we've learned from those who have taken Manifesting Mastery course to the highest level. We put that in a training. Why not? But anyway, I do digress. Do what matters, don't do what don't matter. My grandma and my grandpa, they were both really wise people. They couldn't stay married, but they were really wise. I listened to both of them. Don't do what doesn't matter. Grandma taught me how to make bread. You use a specific amount of flour, a whole bunch. You use some water, medium amount. A little bit of oil, a pinch of salt, and a little bit of yeast. Now, if you combine them in the right order, in the right way, you get bread. If you do it in the wrong order, the wrong way, or the wrong proportions, you get a lump. Right? I'm not a fan of lumps. So don't do what doesn't matter. Stop adding things in. Do what matters. Do what we keep teaching. So I've got a couple requests. Number one, be honest. Are you starting your day with my Joseph Goddard method? I know not everybody knows about it. That's cool. So we're going to tell you, before I get out of bed, when you're waking up, when you're going to sleep, you're naturally in the state akin to sleep. You're not fully awake. You're not fully asleep. You're sort of in the middle. Still able to focus somewhat. And what Neville talks about is you feel yourself into the proposed action. That would imply your wish fulfilled. Neville Goddard said that, so here's what I do. I decided, you know what? Here's the cool thing, my Joseph Goddard method. As I wake up in the morning, I'm imagining things anyway about my day. I've got a show. God, that's going to take an hour out of my day. I have lunch with Victoria. Great. Now I got to cook. I've got to go to the dog park. Oh, I hope they're good today. For God's sake. Some days they can be real knuckleheads. And I get to see my buddy Cube. Oh my God, I hope he doesn't watch more dumb frickin' news. I'm not in the mood to talk about it. See, that's how most people wake up. See, I imagine getting emails. Dear 20, hey, I joined ManifestingMasteryCourse.com because of your podcast. I listened to a couple thousand episodes and decided, $100 ain't a big deal. Actually, 97. Just like you said, it's like the price of a cheapo cup of coffee every day. See, I imagine before I get out of bed, that experience. What's it feel like to go, another life changed? I got an email from Gilbert this morning. He's done Triple D, now he's doing ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. He's doing things in reverse. How cool, he's getting gold. He's diving deeper. These are the emails that I imagine up before I get out of bed. I imagine getting your emails. How does it feel knowing that me taking 15 minutes out of my day changes your life? How does that feel? I feel that. I experience that before I get out of bed. I feel and experience Victoria's yum because I honestly don't know what's for lunch today, but she said, you're cooking. I've cooked the last two. I said, rightio. So I imagine up her yum. I love imagining up her yum. What's my experience of her yum? And when I nail that, I know lunch is going to be amazing. I do that before I get out of bed. I do that with 5 to 10, 6 to 12 wishes every morning. I don't wait. If you want to wait to have wins, wait to imagine. More than one person has let me know that, hey, I can't figure out what I want. We're going to explore that, but here's the short answer. You don't figure it out. You notice, what's my desire right now? As I wake up in the morning, I've got a desire to make a difference in the world, to do that by making a podcast, to please my woman, right? I experience my experience of her yum. Happy puppy dogs. High energy. How do you think I'm doing? Right? Did I imagine up high energy for today? Right? I had to get up early this morning. I was so excited about the results I was getting from that email. And also sending out the Dream Driven Day email today. But here's the thing, guys. Always be investing. Here's the other one. And we'll get to that later. Let's back up because we don't want this one to be too complex, because for a lot of folks here, this is the introduction to the podcast for them. They just haven't taken the time to listen before. I get it. You're busy. I used to be busy. When you imagine being busy and not having the time or energy to do this, you know what you're imagining? You're being busy and not having the time to do this. When you're imagining this is confusing, you're actually succeeding. I don't want you to go to war either. Again, I'm addressing a lot of emails real quick here, but we're going to go into detail. Here's how you go to war. Try to imagine the opposite of what you're experiencing. All right? I'm imagining that I understand all this, Mr. 20. I have people that email me every day that tell me they understand all this and that they're doing it all right. But they're not getting results. And I say, what are you doing? And I say, well, I've been imagining one wish for 3 years because if I put all my power behind it and it magnifies itself, and my brother is helping me, we both decided doing affirmations was a good thing. And I tell them, hey, you're not doing what I teach. You're not doing what I teach. There's two sides to this. One, what we call the attitude of Abdullah. We'll talk more about that later too. And we already have talked about it in the almost 2,000 podcast episodes. Listen to them. But here's the cool thing, guys. Two sides to this. There's attitude, and there's the action steps. The attitude is having like the attitude of Abdullah. I keep bringing this down to one wish per session, one session per wish. Neville says to imagine what implies your wish is fulfilled, that it's currently natural in your life. He doesn't say to hope it's coming, to say it's coming, to write down it's coming, right? I mean, I can't. If I had to write down a couple hundred times that I'm going to do a podcast today and you're going to like it, that's a lot of time wasted. The physical follows. So don't do what doesn't matter. Do what does. Follow the bread recipe. One more. You have no right to say it ain't working. It's always working. The problem is your eyes are only 4 inches apart. Your ears maybe 6 or 7. If you're like me, I got a wide head. Mine are maybe 8. From tippy top to bottom, I'm about 5'11", maybe 5'10" now. I'm getting older, probably shrinking. Right? My buddy tells me when you get old, things happen. Well, I notice for some people, things happen whenever they're in their 30s, and they say, I feel old. Other people I know in their 90s, I wouldn't tangle with them. Right? They're just little spitballs. They're on fire. My Aunt Mid back in the States, she weighed about 98 pounds. She had this big old Buick. She was nonstop, that's all I'm going to say. What do you think she was imagining? All right, so we're going to dive into the one cause even more. We've already covered all this stuff in the podcast. We're going to do it in a way we're going to be answering your questions here. So keep coming back. Stay tuned. Follow us somewhere. Apple, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast, find us and follow us. Tune in daily because I tend to put up 2 episodes daily. In other words, I'm saying it's time to dive deeper into what we do. Don't add in things that don't work like affirmations. Neville said not to do them. When I stopped doing them, guess what happened? Right? I didn't walk around saying, I am buying mustard. I am doing a podcast. My life loves me. My wife loves me. I can get a little. Right? Anyway. I know my wife loves me. Do you see it on the show? So if you got gold today, number 1, tune back in. It's going to be a while before I write back to everyone. Seriously. Yeah. We might be up to 300 now. Who knows? But I promise you I will read and address every single one. Number 2, dive deeper. Listen to the podcasts. That's going to be my number 1 suggestion. Let the sound of my voice give to you. Because maybe you've noticed I've got some attitude. I share nothing but the step-by-step. I invite you to explore deeper. Neville taught for decades. He kept exploring, so do we. That's where his lectures came from. That's where our programs and podcasts come from. If you want to join us in a program, I am strongly going to suggest ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. If you go to the Law of Attraction by Neville Goddard group, you will see there are endless testimonials and posts from Law of Attraction by ManifestingMasteryCourse.com members. Same thing with Dream Driven Day if you want to dive deeper. Now here's the number 1 thing. Ready? If you pay for it, it doesn't change your life. If you do it, it does. And this is what we call bad marketing. Because if I tell you, look, you got to do it. In ManifestingMasteryCourse.com, we say every 7 days, email us with an update. We'll tell you ours. In Dream Driven Day, we give you a Facebook group and 3 live calls. Right, 30 people, 30 days of play. You get why? Doing it. Some people, when you do it in a group, it gives magic. Other people, just having a structured program for 90 days, magic. I want you to notice and know the magic of you. That's it. Have a lovely day. This is the Neville Goddard Podcast. My name is Mr. 2020. Dive deeper. And this is the first episode